The following video presentation will assist facilities reporting data for their dry cleaning operation. Once the user is logged into the EIS system, they will be on the home page, as shown here. Once on the home page, click on the Data Entry module in EIS. Once selected, you will be taken to the following screen. There are two options to enter data into EIS. For this instance, we will use the EI questionnaire function. Once on the EI questionnaire page, you will see the following screen and any applicable permitted and unpermitted equipment at your facility. These permits will be presented with permit description and device description as shown here to help identify the equipment that you're reporting for under your facility. For this demonstration, we'll be focusing on dry cleaning operations, so we'll select the dry cleaning permit on line 3. Once the permit has been selected, you will then scroll down to the data input screen. While scrolling down, you will see the Select Calculator button on the right in blue. This calculator has been either determined from previous inventory reporting or selected by the district as the best possible method for estimating emissions. If you find there's a more representative calculation method for your facility's operation, please select and update on your list of available calculation methods. Once the calculation method has been determined, you will scroll down and click on the Data Request button. And this is where you will be reporting your solvent for your dry cleaning operation. Please enter the material name, and the annual material usage and waste shipped off in gallons per year. This can be obtained from facility records. Once the material usage and waste shipped off site has been provided, you will then provide the density and VOC content for your solvent. This can be obtained from the SDS provided by your manufacturer. For this instance, we will use a commonly used solvent for dry cleaning operations, DF2000. To find the density of the material, you will go down to the physical properties section. Once at the physical properties, you will see the density in pounds per gallon. To find the VOC content, you may find this in the same section or another section of the SDS. In this instance, the VOC content is provided in the other ecological information section. Once you've obtained these values, you can input this into EIS. Once the density and VOC content has been provided, you will then fill out the device operating schedule. This is the facility operation schedule in hours per day, days per week, and days per year. Once this information has been provided in the data request, you will then proceed to the emissions factor section. For the emission factors, you are to add any pollutants that are in your specific solvent used at the facility, and this can be provided in your SDS. For DF2000 in this example, you will see that there is only one pollutant in the solvent, naphtha, with a CAS number and concentration. To find your pollutant, you will click on the Add function and search by the CAS number, removing any hyphens from the number. In this instance, the pollutant is not listed in EIS and does not have to be reported. For other dry cleaning solvents, a popular pollutant is perchloroethylene. And if you use one of these solvents and searching by the CAS number, you can, once you find your pollutant and select, you will enter the weight percent in your solvent and add the origin of your emission factor, which is typically the MSDS. Failure to select the origin will result in your inventory not being able to be submitted. Once you've entered the emission factors, you will then proceed to the control request section. You'll be asked to provide the stack information for your operation. This information can be either provided by your equipment technical data sheet. If not known, you can go to the district website under calculation procedures and use the EPA default stack parameters by classification code. Once you select this section on the district website, you'll be taken to the following spreadsheet. Once taken to the spreadsheet, you can search by sector and select dry cleaning. From there, you will be able to find the release height, the stack diameter, stack temperature, and exit velocity, most representative of your facility's operations. And input here. Once the stack information has been provided, you will then enter the capture and volatile control efficiency for your equipment. Most operations in the district, there are no control equipment associated with the operations. So for those, you can simply input 100 for your capture efficiency and 0 for your volatile control efficiency. If you do have control equipment associated with your operation, please refer to your equipment technical data sheet for that control efficiency information and input into EIS. Once the capture and control has been provided, you will then provide the location data for your facility. This information can be provided from Google Maps. In this instance, we will use the district location for this demonstration. Once you put your address in, you will simply right-click on your location in Google Maps, and you will be provided with the longitude and latitude for your facility, as shown here. This information will then be updated into EIS. Once the stack and location information has been provided for your facility, this will roll over to subsequent reporting years, so you do not have to provide this information again unless it needs to be updated. Once the stack and location information has been provided, you will then proceed to scroll back up and click Save. Failure to save your data before reporting any additional permits or materials will result in your data being lost, and you will have to re-enter that into EIS. If you have additional solvents to report, you can refer to the EIS guide for further assistance. To assist the district with timely review, please go back to the dashboard and homepage and upload any supporting documents for SDS or technical data sheets for controls for your equipment. Once all your solvents have been reported, you can proceed to report any additional permits that your facility may have, or proceed to submission of your inventory in EIS. Additional information such as EIS user guides, frequently asked questions document, can be found on the APCD district website.